Yep. Looks like we're live.
And there we go. Hey, happy 4th of July.
In Canada Day last week.
Yep, Canada Day too. On the 1st for my friends up north.
Hope everyone's doing well. It doesn't look like we have anyone in here yet. Since it's a holiday, maybe it will be light on people visiting us. I'm not sure.
Yeah, or they might have thought we postponed because of the holiday. You never know, but it will be recorded. We'll have it out here
later. So today, in fact, all month, we're kind of having more of like a play day than a specific technique or trend or something that we're focusing on. Since it's the 4th of July, which is Americana and red, white, and blue, and of course Canada Day, a lot of red. I figured today I would use some of these tags that I have already got paint on them and make some tags using those sort of colors. So I just went through my basket of scraps and junk and stuff that's just stuffed in this bucket that sits next to my desk, and I pulled out some blues and some reds and some whites, and I'm just going to make some tags, and that's my plan. How about you?
That sounds like fun, and it's a good way to use stuff up. You know, I have been going through all kinds of stuff in my studio this week. Just because I can't reach overhead real well. And so it's like, okay, I need to rearrange things. So I've been doing that. But in addition, you guys may have seen this week I did a video on, you guys have seen echo dyeing, right? You know what echo dyeing is. And I didn't want to go through that process because you have to have alum and, vinegar and all this stuff. It's like making pickles. You're pickling your paper and you boil it. And I thought, oh, what a mess. I don't want to deal with that. And so I just pulled out my sprays and things. And I went out in the garden and I found, some things from the garden. And so I did my own style of echo dyeing in this journal. So I have my backgrounds now. This is mostly dry. I'm setting it up like this in my room so that the pages have time to, because this whole thing was soaking wet, guys. I'm telling you, the whole thing was soaking wet. So I'm setting it up like this just so that the pages have an opportunity to thoroughly dry, because you don't want to stamp on wet paper. You don't want, it's just, you want dry paper. And so I left it for about 3 days under some books and things just to try to flatten out the pages a little bit, because these things get really wrinkly when they get soaked with all that. So I flattened it out. Now I'm setting it up to dry. And what I intend to do today is just make some components that I'm going to use in my nature journal, because it's summer and I like to go out in the garden and just pick things that I can use in my art. I like to, so that's what I did this morning is I went out and I picked a bouquet of greenery, right? So I've got this stuff here that I'm going to work with. I'm probably going to do a little gel printing and a little bit of stamping and who knows what. So that's my plan.
Awesome. Welcome, Deborah and Laura. Deborah and Laura have joined us so far. Happy 4th of July or Canada Day or whatever you want to celebrate today.
Or whatever it is you're celebrating this week. Birthdays, holidays, you name it.
Could be anything.
Yeah, I'm going to load my YouTube again because it didn't seem to come up for me. Because it's being stupid, yeah. So hello, Deborah and Laura. We're glad you're here.
For my first tag here, I'm going to do some magazine collage. So I've picked out some different images from my bucket here that just has a bunch of magazine stuff in it that I found interesting. And I think I'm going to try to make a scene out of it, but focusing on the colors red, white, and blue. So It just seems like something. I don't like that though. Yeah, I'm not going to use that. But
Well, don't use it
have,
if you don't like it.
I don't like it. I also have this lighthouse with the red tops, or I have this church with the red door. So I think I'm going to, I don't know. Do I want a seaside scene or do I want, I don't know what I want. Maybe I'll cut it out and see.
Hey, Peggy. Hey, Ruth. How are you doing this morning? Happy 4th.
People are rolling in.
Yeah,
That's good.
gotta like that. Well, you know, a lot of the fireworks and stuff don't happen till later, so.
Yeah.
We had some big booms last night. I don't know about you guys. I feel sorry for the little doggies in the neighborhood.
We didn't really have anything that I heard anyway. I
Well,
went to bed pretty early because I wasn't feeling great yesterday.
I'm
So
sorry.
I may have missed something by being asleep.
Well, that's okay. Those are the kinds of things you can miss, right?
Yes.
So I was going to show you guys, this is a really old circle journal. This is what kind of got me started. I was going through things, you remember I was telling you about stuff up on the top cupboard. And what we used to do was we would send these journals around in the mail to each other, and you'd do a page and send it on to the next person. And so I was looking at this because I had gotten it down off the shelf, and I was flipping pages. And so I looked at, this was my journal, and this was my first page. And as I flip through here, I'm looking at, oh, I kind of like these natural elements that I was using in here. And, you know, I had a sign in place for them so that they were, of course, that was my sign in place, but, you know, they were dyed and kind of natural looking. And so, I mean, this is something I did probably 20 years ago. Okay. But I was looking at those natural elements and thinking, well, you know, I really liked that natural tone, what I was doing. I want to do some more of that. So that's what prompted me. And then I thought echo dyeing, and I thought, no, not going there, not going there. And you know me, it's like, well, how can I do that? How can I create the same effect without having to go through all of that boiling of paper and stuff? So this is what I've come up with.
Yeah, I enjoyed that video. I liked it.
Thank you.
You got a lot of cool stuff out of.
I did. And, you know, it isn't just the journal itself, because, you know, I have the tags, I have the additional papers. And I mean, these, look at these. These are just awesome. So cool with those leaves and things. So I'm going to, you know, do a little bit more with that kind of stuff. I just wanted to get some ink on these tags. See what this looks like. That didn't turn out so swell, but I'll do something with it. I think I need to re-ink my pad.
I think I'm going to stick with the church.
Not
I think
really.
I like the church. I think the church looks better than the lighthouse on my little composition here.
Yeah.
Yep. Move those up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks a little bit better. All right.
Yep, I think that's what I'm going to go with.
So, and, you know, I've got, here's die cuts that I've splattered with things. And I'm thinking I might even put some more textural stuff on these with some other colors. I pulled out a bunch of nature color inks. So let's see if this will even show up on here. This is the dandelion. Yeah, it does. It adds a little swirl. Like that. And I should probably, since I'm using that dandelion, put a little bit of that on the edge of my leaf to give it a little dimension, right?
Oh,
Hi, Ela. Yeah, see, that just makes it so much better. So much better for me.
apparently, this is just stress oxide on this tag because it's coming off.
Oh, boy.
It's okay.
Yeah, I've gotten to the place where when I use those inks, before I put the stuff away, I try to put a sealant over it because I will mess it up in a heartbeat. Just saying. So I've got some tissue paper and I want to, this is just an old dress pattern. I want to put some texture on that too. Give it kind of a, see what this does. Give it a kind of a mottled look. Yeah, it does. Gives it that more antique look. I don't know if you guys, if the camera will actually pick that up, but there's little, let's see, probably looks better on white. There's
Welcome,
little,
Barbara and Holly and Rennie. Glad you guys are here. Glad you could join us on the 4th. So because this is distress oxide, I found out by getting it all sloppy, I'm going to just put my medium on the back of my magazine components and then just press them down, because otherwise I'm getting this smeariness, this unpleasant smeariness. I'm not impressed. But you never know when you grab something out of your pile what it's going to be. So that's just how it goes.
I do love the look of the distress oxides and the distress.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But I have gone to, like I said, putting a sealant on right away because I will mess it up in a minute.
Yep, I didn't realize. I mean, I'm not that organized. I didn't realize it was going to be. I mean, I guess if I looked at it closely, I would have realized that, because you can kind of tell.
Yeah, it's got that, dusty look about it.
Yeah, it was probably when I was messing around with the sprays, the distress oxide sprays, that this background came from. Probably is my guess.
I've got some of those. I should drag them out.
They're pretty.
They are pretty.
But they're definitely not permanent.
Well, and that's just the thing. Like when you're using them, part of the beauty of it is that white oxidation that happens. And when you go to seal it, sometimes you lose some of that because you're putting something wet over the top of it,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a trade-off, depending on how you're going to use it.
Welcome, Marilyn and Becky.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to everyone else. I missed you. I'm sorry. Yeah, 12 watching. Pretty good for a holiday.
Yeah. So are you guys crafting along today? What are you working on? Anything in particular? I think I want some let's see. I've got this one. And I've got a green, fern green.
there's my collage components. Now we need to get down to something else. Add some detail. Add some fun stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
We
figure
need
it
a
out.
lot of fun in our life.
Yes. Maybe some stencils. Maybe just some pen work.
Holly's working on waking up. Barb's getting her eyes. Beck's eating a salad. Rennie's working on her iCAD. Oh, sinus infection. I'm so sorry. Another friend of mine said she was having sinus issues this morning. Yeah, not fun. Yeah, I'm trying to be good to myself. I went to physical therapy yesterday. So now I have to be very careful with my arm today because, yeah, it's been used. And like I said, I was cleaning out some stuff and moving stuff around in the studio. Yeah. All right. Enough said about that, right?
I think since I already have distress oxides on here, I'm just going to stick with distress oxides.
Just going to go with it, huh? Good idea.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to stamp a few more of these leaves, and then I think I'm going to move to the gel and get some of those things printed. So what I'm stamping on is just an old, I got this free. It's a pattern that the store was giving away. They had a whole cabinet full of pattern paper, and it makes good tissue to recycle for your background. So look out for those kind of bargains at your secondhand stores. This is a ginkgo leaf. I remember when they planted the first ginkgo leaf here in town, or ginkgo tree, excuse me, not leaf. And I loved it. I'd go down and gather the ginkgo leaves when I was a kid just so that I could play with them. They're
Are you
fan
still
shaped.
living in the town you lived in when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Wow. It doesn't happen as much anymore.
Well, I mean, I moved around a bit. I moved back. What can I say?
I would consider
Actually,
moving back to
I
my
was ready
hometown.
to go after I graduated from college, but my husband's job was here. So it's kind of like, can't go anywhere when we're working for a company that's here, right?
Looking for that linen one. Where's that linen one? I think it's the lightest color I have of stress oxides.
I think they're still talking about the iCads.
Yeah, iCads are still going on. So.
Yeah, that's 61 days. ATC a day has ended, but that doesn't mean you have to stop making ATCs. You can keep on making ATCs. I certainly do. Actually, the stencil curl club theme this month was ATCs, and I thought, oh.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was like, hey, you should have done
that when we were doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're swapping, so I'm sending off some of my ATCs to that group.
Yep, me too. I signed up for that. I'm like, I have ATCs.
I wondered what I was going to do with all those ATCs, right?
don't know that this antique linen is very opaque, but it's working okay. It's giving some subtle background here.
Yeah.
I don't have a white in this ink. I'm not sure there even is a white. Maybe there is.
A white what?
Distress ink.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Well, apparently I don't have it.
I don't know if it's a spray. I know I had a white distress ink pad. It's called Picket Fence.
Picket fence. Okay. I have heard that before. I just don't personally own it.
Yeah.
That's okay. I did off-white.
But I don't know that they've come out with, because Picket Fence works with either line, the distress or the distress oxide. So I think they're just, that would cross over. Because it's not, Picket Fence is not like any other distress ink. I think it's got some acrylic in it.
Or something.
I just think it's got some acrylic in it.
Barbara wants to know if you are stamping on fun foam.
You can stamp on fun foam. I don't know where, I think this was an old stamping pad that I had from many, many years ago that I probably bought at a craft show. But because my arms don't work as well, I don't want to have to really hump on a stamp, and those old wood blocks, you really have to put some pressure on them, even if they have the cushion behind them. If you want a good impression, it helps to have the foam behind your stamp. So when I can stamp this. I can go ahead and stamp this using just a foam that comes on the rubber, but I probably am not going to get as clean an impression. That's not bad, but you see, it's really faint. It's really not like, so you want the ink to transfer. So I like to use a piece of foam behind. It just helps. And, ink up really well. I mean, this is a delicate stamp. It's really a fine image. So if I have that and I can push that into the foam, I get a better impression. You see, it's just a hair darker. It may not be easy to see the difference on here, but this is a much better impression than this one. My little stamp tip for the day. Okay, so I think I'm going to grab my gel plate because all that pushing is not working with my shoulder. So we're going to do something else now. So I have, this is just a glass cutting mat. And I found that I like to use these when I'm working. Whether it's watercolor or gel printing or whatever, it's kind of nice to have that to attach things to. So I can pick it up and move it out of the way.
Hi, Mona. I'm glad you could join us.
Hey, Mona. How are you?
She says she's peeking in before she has to start making dinner.
Yeah, I imagine it's getting kind of late. Grab out a couple of these smaller ones too. So I pulled my Deco Art premium paints to do this with today. Some of these I haven't even used yet. That's a crying shame, right?
I just got my first Deco Art premium paint. That's the ones in the tubes, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
Just
like
got
this.
my first one. Guess what color I picked?
Purple?
Nope.
No? Copper?
Quinacridone gold.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a
Gold?
what do I want to say? A heavy body paint in quinacridone gold.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw it as an add-on item on Amazon. You know how they have those
Yeah.
add-ons?
Yeah.
Like, ha, I'm gonna get that.
Well, this is a pretty color. This is called Viridian Green Hue.
Ooh, nice.
Guess I'm into my greens. So what I want is some of that greenery that I went out and got this morning. Let's see what I've got here. Here's a fern. And another fern. So let's do this. And I need some paper. I've got some, this is some rice paper. It's got a little bit of texture to it. See if I can get this on here before it all dries up.
Welcome, Frana. Glad you could join us. Getting some new people today, or people who don't come constantly.
Well, we're glad you're here for whatever reason.
Yes.
Okay, so
So
there's
now I'm adding some highlights because, you know, you gotta have highlights. Guess what I'm using?
well, let's see. It's red, white, and blue day. So, I wonder if I
Well,
can
of course
put this
it's
back.
white.
It would be interesting if I could put that back in there. Let's see if I can do that. I should have taped it down so I got a registration. You guys ever do that when you're gel printing, where you put the tape on the edge?
Yep. Sometimes.
Oh, yeah, look at that. See, I was able to. Now, if I had taped it, it would match up better. But I still like that.
Oh, I think that's awesome.
And since I've got a little bit of paint on the ferns themselves, let's just see if they'll print on this. A little bit, not much. That's okay. We'll just keep building layers. So that's a pretty green. Let's do some mixed up colors here. What do I got here? This is a pale gold. Still got a little bit of green on my brayer. So let's go back to that green. Nope, that's the green. What did I do with it? All right, lost my paint already. All right, I guess I wasn't supposed to use that again. Oh, there it is. I'll put just a little bit. Oh no, this is a different green. This is phthalo. All right. because I didn't put it back in the bin, silly. All right. Gonna mix those two. And I'm putting it on rather thickly because I think I'm going to use some of that with these ferns.
Peg, Holly wants to know how often you change your nail color.
Whenever they fall off. I don't have a specific anything. I don't go and get my nails done, Holly. I do everything myself. And because my hands are in and out of stuff all the time, I don't want to spend a lot of money for nails that are just going to get painted. All right. So I go to the drugstore. I get a set of nails. Let's see if I can show you. I get a set of nails like this, and they're like glue dots. They just peel and stick. Okay. So it's nothing special. Trust me, it's nothing special. I don't spend a lot of money on my nails because I have to buy craft supplies.
Every time that stupid thing was wanting to update.
Oh no.
Why does it always do that every time? It did that last week too. All right, I just need some stamps.
I just dropped down my paper on the floor. Oh, the joy of being live. I'm gonna try this on a black. And let's get another piece of black. Let's see if I can get a print off of the fern itself. Oh yeah, look at that. Liking it.
What do you know?
See if there's enough left of this piece to get something. Oh yeah, there we go. You guys see the ferns? Let's see what's under here. Okay. Not as impressed with that, but it's a layering piece, right? And now that it's got paint on there, I can stamp some images on top of that. Make it cool. Make it cool. Okay, I'm trying to get this wet stuff out of my way. Because I need room for the dry stuff I want to print. All right. So colors. Let's go back to that pale gold. I like that. Still got a little bit of that green on my brayer. This time I'm going to do a thinner coat. And I want a sandwich. See what happens with a sandwich. Pull some leaves out here. It's a pretty big leaf. I'm gonna get a couple smaller ones. Okay, so I've got that. Now I want to print on what? I want to print on this black. For the winter time, I don't know. I mean, you know, by the time you layer it up with, remember, Peggy, this is the journal, right? This is the journal that's got all the nature prints in here already. And so you want some contrast. And I'm only going to use portions of that, you know, whether I'm making a pocket or, you know, whatever I end up making to go on the page. Oh yeah, sweltering. It's sweltering here already, Becky. The humidity is just insane. I'm saying. You go finish what you need to do. I'm glad you stopped in. Okay, so this is going to need something in here. So I don't know if I can. Let's see if I can do this. That's the beauty of being able to move that. I can print the impression in here and get some veining. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There's that one, and one last one here. So that's kind of cool, right? All right, so now we've still got this good stuff on here. Got to get rid of these stamps. They're in my way. You know, when you gel print, you need a lot of space. Okay, so I'm wondering, I've got some of these tags that were not really wonderful. I'm wondering if I can pick up just that leaf. Yeah. There's that. Actually, I think I want this portion here. And that one there. Yeah, I like that better than the way it was originally. Then we've got this huge one. I don't know. Don't know about that. Give it a try. It's not going to all go on there. Let's see if we can print off the edge on this one. Make it into a background. Yeah, liking that better. Okay, so what other kind of leaves do I have here? What else do I have to print on? See, I've got all this paper that I was using the other day. Some of them turned out really nicely, like that. Some of them turned out really nicely, and some did not. So I should pull some of these jelly that are not the greatest and try to do some prints on them. Because it's all about the play. And
So I have these cute little city buildings. And I thought maybe I would make a little town out of them. This is from a napkin. It also has these words, home sweet home, which is kind of what we celebrate on our Independence Day, right?
right.
So I might use these words if I can separate them from the napkin. Not so well. I never try to cut out napkins. I always just, and if I do cut them out, I put them on something else before I cut them, like on thin paper, and then cut them out. But otherwise, I use water brush to do my cutting, which is what I just did.
Yep. That works really well. Hi, Gina.
Try to put this on.
She says it should always be about the play. Yeah, it should, shouldn't it?
It should. Yes. Hi, Tracy. Judy. Got some more people joining us. Glad you guys are coming in. Peggy's making components for her new nature journal, and I am doing red, white, and blue colors and Americana type themes because it's Independence Day for us today here in the United States. So if you're just joining us, that's what's going on. And I'm making tags, which already have, and I'm using the ones that already have paint on them. And scraps from my scrap bin.
Use it up.
Yep.
Okay, Mona. Have a good dinner. Thank you.
I just found out that we're having a big old mess of barbecue chicken today.
Oh, this is kind of bulky. I don't know if this is going to turn out. Try putting something over the top. Lumpy bumpy. Reminds me of some of the songs I used to sing with the kids when they were little. Oh, well, that's kind of fun. Oops, sorry. This is a brown tissue paper from Dick Blick, which is entirely different than the other stuff I've been using. Now, I've still got a lot of stuff in between here, so let me try and see if I can pick up some of that extra. Hi, Tricia. Yeah, it's Thursday. You know, we're trying to do Thursdays. Okay, so I don't know if I can print with that or not. I'm going to pick up the flowers. The impression is there. I'm going to let this dry. And let's get a piece of this other tissue. set this aside and see if I can print any of these flowers on this other tissue now that they've got paint all over them. These are just stuff I went out and pulled out of the garden this morning. Daisies and coral bells and lavender.
See, I can't do that. It's
Yeah,
not really very
probably
easy
don't
to
work
gel
as
print.
well, Shel. I'm just saying,
Huh?
cactus probably don't work as well for this.
No, I don't think I could gel print some spines. Probably wouldn't work.
Probably wouldn't. Okay, so it just gave a real slight impression. Let's see if I can pick up some of that paint with my flower and just print that way. Oh yeah, look at that. I have a new stamp. It's called a daisy.
Holly, this is a napkin. It wasn't stamps. The village. It's a little napkin that I'm just collaging on there.
How fun is that?
Ah. Although those would be very cute stamps, and I'll bet there are some out there. Little houses. Or you could carve them yourself. Of course. That's kind of fun.
Okay, so don't know if the coral bells and the lavender have done anything. Nope, they have not. So we'll do what we did with the daisy, and we will paint with them. So I have some other colors that I think might be appropriate. Here's a chalky. This is a Deco Art chalky finish in a pink, which would be pretty. Oh, that's gotten really thick. This may not work. I get a little water.
All right. What else should I do?
I've had these sitting around for a while. Can you tell? So, but how often do I use pink? Really? I mean, come on, guys, you know me. How often do I use pink?
Not as much as Mary Beth Shaw.
Yeah, you're right. Not as much as Mary Beth.
She loves pink.
She does. Well, you know, this shade of pink I could get into. I really could. It's a nice soft pink.
So I have these little leftover stars. I made my kids' graduation announcements a long time ago from high school, and I used these little stars to stick on their photos because, you know, I had those little 2x3 graduation photos, and I still have just a few left. This was years ago, people, years. But they look pretty in my sky with my little village. Now I need to jazz it up, though. I've got to get some jazzing going on here. I'm not sure if I should put a person, a Victorian lady standing in here. It might balance the composition a little bit, but she's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Don't think so?
I have some other people. Like this lady's pretty cool when she's blue. But it would take up too much space, I think. Although I like how she's looking up.
Oh, I do too. That's cool.
That might be a possibility, actually.
Holly says cool napkin.
Thank you, thank you. I actually like her.
Gina still has Hobby Lobby stickers in her stash. Yeah, I think we all have a few of those.
I think the lady's going to make it because she's pretty cool. I'm going to kind of curve her shoulder a little bit. It's just barely on there. Well, that did not stick. Gonna have to use the very naughty. How dare you not stick? I guess I could give it another go. Put some underneath.
Okay, so I wonder if this is dry yet. I might have to whip out the heat tool. Looks pretty good. Let's give it a try, right? Oh, a sip of coffee first. Oh, that's so much better with coffee. Good. So this one I think will be fun because I could, you know, glue that down and sketch over the top of it, you know, add stems and other things to it. So that'll be fun to play with. All right, now
She might be singing this Star Spangled Banner. She kind of looks like she could sing.
look how bad this one is. Not as bad as the others, but not good either. Maybe not the chalk paint. Those need help. All right, so what other colors do I have in use? How about this one?
No red, though.
A really pretty cobalt teal hue. No, not doing red. You're doing the red.
Well, this tag has no red. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
It needs red. It's got a lot of blue.
Okay. So I'm going to just put a layer over that impression that I made with that cobalt teal hue. I think I want to print on some of that just regular text weight. It's just regular copy paper. Says she must be singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yep. I think it's a good possibility.
Or Oh Canada, huh? Okay, so that did not pick that up. But I have a nice background. So I want to add, since it did not pick it up, I'm going to add some translucent white. Nope, that's not open. Pick something else. Pick some Yeah. Come on. I know I've got a color here that would work. This is titanium white. Oh, and this has been sitting too long. See, this is what happens when you're not using your paints, guys. You got to get them out on the plate. Getting too thick. All right, now hopefully this is still wet enough that I can come and grab that. Cindy58 says it's the first time she's gotten to watch this live. Always have to watch
Welcome.
later. Thanks. We're glad you're here, Cindy. All right.
Is it because it's a holiday? She was able to escape work or something?
Oh, yeah, baby. We got her. Look at that one. It's with the daisies and things, and I can see doing some doodles and stuff over the top of that. So that'll be a cool one. All right. What's next? Ooh. Talk it back to me. Oh, I want to go back to that soft gold. I think I like that. Give a little metallic in there.
Why not?
All right. So definitely need some more leaf prints. This is some lamb's quarter, which is considered a weed. My husband likes to eat this stuff. You know, we're okay. I'm telling on myself. When we were younger, we used to do the whole stalking the wild asparagus Yule Gibbons thing, and we'd go out foraging because we were sure the world was going to end, and we were going to have to teach our children how to forage for themselves out in wilderness, right? So we would go and do things like digging up daylily roots and bringing them home and cooking them. And yeah, I know, weird, right? But it was teaching our kids about nature. We were getting outside, not just sitting in front of the tube. And that was our thing, on a Saturday or Sunday. That was our thing. All right, so what am I going to put that on? Need a spot. Clean off my brayer. And get another piece of this rice paper. You guys print on rice paper?
Thank you, Marie. All right, 2 tags down. Let's see, what can we do next? I think I might mess with this one.
Now, the thing I have found with gel printing is sometimes you have to go back and do more layers because, you know, your first and second prints are not, you have to wait for them to dry. But sometimes it just needs more layers. And you can do that, you know, also with other things like your stencils and such. That works really well. So these are just printed off of the paint that I had on the plate. Let me see if I can get one more. So anyway, anybody else crazy like us where we were going out and foraging?
The only thing I've ever foraged for, and I did it as a kid, was wild mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like, it was like a thing. You went out into the woods, because I lived in Oregon.
Yeah.
So you get morels and these ones that look like brains and like all these little.
Yeah. Well, and you know, everybody was so afraid of mushrooms, but what I did was I got books to identify the mushrooms. Their Audubon Society has really good books on mushroom identification. So we foraged for a lot of mushrooms when the kids were little. Morels are always good in the spring, and then you know, in the fall, well, there were the what do they call those? Shaggy manes, puffballs, you know, lots of different types of mushrooms depending on the season. The oyster mushrooms here would grow hanging off the sides of trees, sometimes even off the sides of the telephone poles. So I'd go out and get a big cluster of oyster mushrooms and fry those up. They were good.
So this piece of paper, the stripy one, was off an envelope. Last round of political crap that people were sending to the house. The big
Yeah.
envelope with stripes, but I like the stripes. And then this is a piece of, you know, kitchen roll. And it has some round shapes that I must have cleaned off something. And I thought I could put that on as the blue. A little bit of blue. And then I have this crab. This was a napkin. Remember I was saying that sometimes if I have to cut something out, I will put it onto something else and then cut it out, because napkins are really hard to cut out. And I have this blue crab. Random blue crab.
Random
stuff. I don't know where he came from. He just moved in. I also have this bird, which is kind of pretty, which is also a possibility. I don't know. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing today.
It's all about the play.
Yeah. Next week, I will not be here. Just so you guys know. I will be in Santa Cruz looking for a reasonably priced apartment. And that is going to be a trick for my kid who's moving there.
Well, my kids have gotten settled, so yay. They're now
I saw the pictures.
What's that?
I saw pictures that you posted. They look like they were having a good time.
Yeah. Well, they're into their new space. Actually, my granddaughter had one of her best friends ride down to Florida with them. Because, you know, her best friend lives in Iowa. So it's kind of far apart, and it's summer vacation. So she just hopped in with them and rode down. And now her parents are down there picking her up. So they're going to have a good holiday weekend. But yeah. So I'm just using what I have to do prints with now. I've got this leaf that I'm dipping into the paint that's over here on my gel press that I'm using as a palette. And, you know, picking up that wet paint on my leaf like so, and then putting it down on my surface. And I'm using a smaller gel plate to kind of press it in place to get my impression. So here, let me show you. So this is what I get by doing that. So that's kind of fun, right? And now I've got this blue paper that I had pulled earlier that's pretty much dry. And I've still got all this stuff on my plate. So what else do I have? I have some of these coral leaves. Let's see what these look like. Do an impression. I might have to. They're bigger, so I might have to actually push it down into the ink paint to pick it up, and then see if I can get it to transfer over here.
Stick it down. Holy jeez.
Oh, that's pretty. Wasn't quite what I was expecting, but it's still pretty. I might have to do a little more paint on these.
This crab is making me crabby.
Uh-oh.
He won't stick down.
You know what I do with crabby crabs?
Boil them? Eat them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They become dinner.
Yeah. This guy's getting on my last nerve. It's because what I had collaged the napkin onto to cut it out is cardstock. So it just doesn't want to stick.
Okay.
Got to get the right glue for the right job.
Yeah.
Listen here, mister. If you don't want to be in the stew, you're going to have to get stuck down.
That's right. Threaten them. They might listen. All right, what other veiny things do I have here? Oh, grape leaves. Yeah, let's do some grape leaves. Ooh, that's a big one. A little bit too big, I think. Besides, I think the birdie had found it.
What else? What else? What else? Maybe
I have this vine. Let's see if I can get the vine in there.
white.
Renee says Maryland blue crabs, yum.
Yeah.
Big in Indiana? Okay. Didn't realize that. She says mushroom hunting in Indiana is big.
That's cool. I think what I need is a punch. That's what I need. Oh. Everything is such a mess. Pain in the behind. Need some white. White. Where is some white?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Got all of that. I think I should pick that up on I think a tissue would be good. Rennie says she's in Arizona now.
Yeah.
She was a transplant.
I
Hey,
met
Terry,
up with her
this morning.
a couple weeks ago. I met her and we had coffee and lunch.
Hey Terry, when you do get your channel going, be sure and let us know so that we can help you get it out there. Terry wants to start a YouTube channel.
Cool.
So, all right. So this is some brown tissue. And it's picking up all of that shimmery stuff. It doesn't show up real well on the camera, but it's there. It's pretty. And there's that one I need to dry. And I've still got, let's go back to this fern one. I've still got some stuff around the edge. Let me see if it's too dry to pick up. Oh, no, it's coming. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, layers. Let's see how this worked.
I have some more stuff going on with my thing here.
Added just a little bit of shimmer to that otherwise flat green.
I finally got my crab to behave.
Oh, good.
It was probably the threatening.
The threatening helped.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to threaten. So this is some more of that Americana chalk finish. It's called Renaissance. This will be more of a flat finish because it's chalk paint. I had just a tinge of that pink in there. And what am I going to put on that? I don't know. What am I going to put on that? Let's see. This is some bleeding heart. Let's put some bleeding heart on that. Oh boy, that's thick. See if I can get it worked out.
Hey, don't stick to my hand. Silly thing wanted to stick to my hand.
All right.
What else does this need? Something. Something. Well, it's going to need some shadows. I know that. But what else? What else?
Right. Not much. We'll give it a try. Only try. I don't think I was pressing it down well enough. Let's see if I did anything off of it. Put it on both sides.
Welcome, Terry.
Oh, all right.
Whoops. Mr. Crab's leg has
Sometimes
decided to come up.
You're going to actually work better than you think.
What in the heck are you doing, Mr. Crab? Thought I had you good and stuck. All right. And I think that these stars need some gold highlights. Let me see if I can find a gold pen.
Always need gold highlights on your stars.
Probably. Kind of a weird gold pen. Acting a little bizarre. And then I'm going to need to put some shadows around this crab. I should. Figure out what color though. What color? Red? Probably red, I guess.
Why not?
Dark red, that's okay.
Oh, I like that. Rice paper. There we go.
Mr. Krabby Crab. Being so crabby.
And there's the roll off. And let's see. Let's put some more of this. What color is this? This one I haven't used yet. This is the phthalo green blue.
Excuse me.
Which sounds pretty.
I have it.
Bless you. And I think I would like to add a little something to that. So let's do the titanium white. Which I need to use up anyway. Because it's getting gloppy.
Gloppy.
Gloppy. It's from Galapagos.
Gloppy paint. Gloppy paint. Gloppy paint. Gloppy paint.
Okay, so let's see what else I have here. I have this little gem. If I can get it to go down, it's starting to wilt a little bit.
I've never been very fond of crabs.
Yeah, I have a
They
girlfriend.
look like
that got them,
spiders.
I think.
I think they look like spiders.
Well, I
Especially
think
when
they're
they're
related, aren't they?
I'm not sure, but when they crawl across the sand real fast,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think anybody really thinks they're beautiful the way they move. All right.
I do think they're tasty though.
Oh yeah. Bring on the steam pot.
Just about done.
Okay. Piece of black over here. See if I can transfer this without making a mess. Oh. Yeah, maybe not.
What time is it? Oh wow. It's 9:54. I guess it's just going to be 3 tags.
It's all right.
How does the time pass so fast?
Well, because we're having a good time. We're
Guess
having a good
so.
time hanging out with everybody.
That must
Thanks,
be it.
Tina. Mr. Krabby Crab. Yep, you're right. Okay. So look at that lovely grunginess.
Okay.
And don't know if I can get this to behave. We'll see. Oops.
I think I need a little bit of sparkle. To get some sparkle. Can't go wrong with
Does anybody have any
sparkle.
celebrating going on tonight?
I think we might go to the fireworks.
Oh, I love this one. That blue, green on the black. Yeah, that's my kind of colors. Like that. All right, and let's
I want to give
see
Mr. Krabby Crab a little sparkle.
what I can do with this. I'm going to spritz that with some water. See if I can keep it moist enough. I'll do an overlay on this tissue paper. If I can get it to line up, kind of, sort of. Might just end up being a hot mess. You never know.
You never know.
It might just be a pleasant surprise. I can see components of that being used. Oh boy, got a lot of wet stuff down here. Just need to clean some of that off of my plate. Get my cleanup papers out of the way.
All right.
Oops. Getting to be a wild woman here.
Didn't even get to use my Victorian ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the Victorian ladies I was going to use. Just didn't get to it.
Do that later today. So I'm going to have to hang some of these up to dry because they're pretty wet. I have one of those drying racks from IKEA and some little clippy hooks, and I can hang this stuff up.
All right, this one just needs a little bit of fibers of some sort, and it will be number 3. And then I think our show's pretty much over. That one.
These are going to need some help. That's okay. They're components, right?
See if I can get these fibers in. Sorry, you ready to show what you did for the day, Peg?
I'm working on it here. Yeah, I can flip through.
All right.
So This one was just printing with the flowers onto some tissue paper. And of course I had all my stamped images, you know, just onto that pattern paper. Just got a bunch of stamped images on pattern paper. This one is kind of a hot mess. This one I really like. It's got the shimmer iridescence on the black with the fern. This also has some shimmer. Remember, I printed into the sections with the leaves afterwards. This was a pickup, but it's got potential. This one is the floral one, and I can see the floral image. Not really clear, but I think it calls for some doodling. These are just some leaf impressions, more leaf impressions. This one is on the same leaf impression on the rice paper. This is the tissue paper print with the metallic shimmers. That one's kind of a hot mess. This one is the ferns with the, where I came back in and pressed them back into the open area. And then I pulled some of that shimmery stuff on it. I really like that one. Same method here with the grape leaves. There's more leaf impressions. This, I love the color. Yeah, my kind of colors. This was just printing with the leaf, and then that's a cleanup pull. That's it for me. How about you, Shel?
I've got 3. Just cleaning off my desk so you can see them.
Yeah.
This is the first one I did with the magazine prints. It says Americana. And then these are some starry ribbons that Peg sent me, red, white, and blue. Then I did this one with the napkins and this print of this lady and the stars and some ribbons. And then this is the last one with the crab, the sparkly crab, still kind of wet, and envelopes and dirty kitchen towels. It says see possibility everywhere, which is exactly what I'm all about.
Yep. Yep.
And then I put some rickrack and some gingham ribbon and a little bit of gold because I got the gold, a little bit of the gold thread. So those are my 3 tags for today. If you would like to own one of these tags, first come, first serve in the comments below. Leave a comment saying, I would like a tag. And then also you probably should contact me.
Well, and, you know, I was telling you about the ATC a day and that I was swapping with some other people. So if you would like an ATC from me, same thing, contact me, let me know. You know, I'm always happy to swap with people. So yeah,
Yep.
That's it from us today.
Yep.
Happy 4th.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.